Hello, and thank you once again for tuning into the Mobility
Mobility
Bros.
Bros.
I am Coach Cliff. I'm with my brother Ron. He is the man, the myth, the legend. And you know what we talk about all the time on the show? We talk about athletic mindset, mobility, the pain reduction, thoughts and processes of practitioners, and the mindset of clients and members. But today we're going to do a special recap episode, and we're going to just talk about the things, the moments we loved throughout this process, some of our favorite episodes, some of our favorite moments in our episodes, and just the journey we're on. We're on the road to 50, and we're really excited that we're continuing to stay consistent. We've had a few wonderful guests come on. We're looking to do more of that. And we're looking to share more about us and what we've experienced and our experience in the world of fitness and wellness, massage therapy, working with high-level Olympic athletes, working with your everyday going to work grinding person, and everyone in between. So without further ado, I'd like to say, what up, Ron? How are you doing today?
What's up, Cliff? What's going on, baby?
I'm good, man. I'm chilling, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Got my little workout today. I got chest in today, and then yeah, just busy doing office work. And tonight I got some jujitsu, so
Oh,
I'll be rolling around tonight. But yeah, got a pretty extensive day today, but loving it. Um,
that's awesome. That's
yeah, yeah,
awesome. How are you doing with your physique model? You're going into
yeah,
your physique.
yeah. So today makes week 7. And I am officially down 15 pounds as of today.
Congratulations.
And if you, I posted some pictures online, so you can still see my little bit of my love here. But you know what? You can see that shrink, but you can see that my chest is filling out, my shoulders and traps are filling out, back is filling out. Um, it's so funny when you're cutting weight for a show, everything starts filling out, and then all of a sudden your belly just goes completely flat, but then you have these love handles that just seem like they will never go away. It's the weirdest thing, and then you're like that week into the show, the week before the show, you look, oh, my love handles going away. Then you wake up one day like 2 days before the show, and then they're gone. Like, oh my god, they just disappeared.
Oh my gosh. How is it the diet? How are you doing with your nutrition? Like, is it hard? Are you cutting down calories? What are you doing to help
Yeah,
with
so
the
I'm at
exercise?
2,300 calories. My macros are I don't want to take too much time doing this, but real quick. So with macros, I'm for protein, I'm at 230 grams of protein, 70 grams for fat, and 73 grams for carbs.
And that's how your calories break down for the day?
You got for the day, every day. And then every 2 to 3 weeks, my calories and my macros drop maybe like 100, like a little bit.
Okay, okay, cool. So how much protein are you eating per meal? How many meals
Um,
are you able to eat per
yeah,
day?
so typically I do the meal replacement shakes, the Isolene Pro shakes. So those have 36 grams of protein. So like today, I'm actually doing an all shake day today. So um, I just came off a 2-day intermittent fast. So I'm just plugging away with shakes today. But and then I'll usually do about on a regular day 2 shakes a day. And then I'll do anywhere from 6 to 7 ounces of chicken. Um, for maybe like for like 2 other meals, or salmon. I really just got into salmon. I like,
Mm.
oh my god, it's so delicious. Because I'm kind of eating the same things over and over again. So it's like when you put something else in the mix, it's like, oh my god, this is freaking amazing.
Nice, exactly. I found that like uh, uh I could write a meal plan for somebody, and it'd be like eating cardboard, and they'll just get bored of it and start to fail. Or I can teach people how to eat properly, where they can have the flexibility of life hit them, and they won't feel guilty for subbing out something in their meal plan for something a little more tastier or
Yeah.
something a little different. And the results are so different compared to the two. One person who gives up because they just can't eat the same thing every day because they don't know what else to do because they're so fixated on what the coach provided for them versus really educating them. And then all of a sudden they have the freedom to like go out and try this and try that and swap this protein for this protein and understand carbs aren't just bread, but they're also vegetables, and you can
All
have a
right.
lot
Yeah.
of healthy vegetables, and just breaking some frames that people have in their head about how protein, carbs, and fats really work.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Uh,
So
So let's talk about these episodes, man.
so
Let's
yeah, that's what I
break
was
it
saying.
down.
Let's get
How
into it,
many
man.
episodes have we done so far?
We officially have done 14.
14 episodes. Can you believe it?
14 episodes. Um, and it's pretty awesome. I've probably mentioned this early on in our episodes, especially when we started. It's something I always wanted to do, but it was like kind of got scared to take that one step to do a podcast and or a YouTube channel, whatever the case may be. And it's just awesome, man. Just learning how to do this, and it's still a learning process. But yeah, 14 episodes, and definitely would love to share. What some of my favorite episodes and why.
Yeah, please, please. We want to hear it. And I would love for people in the chat, like shout out whatever you like to shout out. What is your favorite episode? What did you watch the most of? What did you learn from anything? Are you going back to see what we've done? We've done stuff about knees. We've done stuff with Dr. Stephen Ezra West about hormone regeneration. We've done episodes with Jordan Edwards most recently, just about what it takes to do podcasts and his marathon running. We've talked personally about our lives in our first episode. There's been so many things. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds of it because I'll share mine too. But let me know some of yours. What are some of your favorite episodes?
Yeah, so I love the one when we talked about gym etiquette. I thought that was just a fun episode.
That was
Um,
fun.
you know, and just thinking about when someone goes into a gym and what to expect and how to respect that space. And and you and I, we've been around gyms for February, and just to know that, and we share some fun stories about what we experienced, good and bad. um Before I got him, I was trying to look for some guys that were popular for gym etiquette. I couldn't. I didn't have enough time to get it, but I was trying to look for some funny guys that or some guys that may want to talk more about it, like on YouTube and stuff like that. But because I know there are guys out there on YouTube that are just freaks about it. I just gotta find who they are.
They are. There are guys on YouTube and TikTok especially that are freaks about it because listen, I think the biggest issue right now in public gyms, because we're talking gym etiquette, public gyms, even working from home if you have a gym space. We shared about how we treat our home space and our gym space. But I think the biggest thing is everyone recording their workouts, right? It's a big thing on social media now to record your workouts or to
Yes.
record who's spotting you. Some
Yeah.
people are recording who's watching you work out. And the question is like, is that something that should continue? How do you do that and respect people who don't want to be recorded? How do you do that and respect people who are just generally trying to help instead of turning them into people who look like they're freaks or creeps or creepers? I think that's the biggest part of gym etiquette that's evolving, right? Now that there's so many different people that are recording their workouts or recording who's watching them, like that's going to be a big movement forward. Will gyms start to eliminate that? Because it really does take away from my experience. If I'm just going into the gym with my headphones on and my hoodie up and I'm just trying to work out and you got somebody setting up a whole TikTok video right next to my bench press,
Big
like,
circle light.
yeah, is it going to make me feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable? Like, what's going on? Exactly. And then you're holding up the equipment. You're
Full of
holding up
front
the
lips.
seat. You know what I mean? It gets kind of crazy. Like, I saw one video where this guy was just sitting on the bench doing bicep curls, and some lady walks right in front of him. They're obviously recording him, just trying to get his reaction. He pulls his shirt over his head and keeps doing bicep curls, so he's not in the video. Like, is that what we're getting to with gym etiquette? What's your thoughts?
I think I think it's kind of more of what's the word, people wanting to be known. and just them wanting to feel special and feel like more. And you know, you have thousands of people on your little phone that will give you that the gratification. That's the word I'm looking for. Give you that gratification, you know, that you need. Oh my God, look at that. He's got his pump on. He's those duck lips are crushing the duck lips on in the gym. Hashtag crushing duck lips in the gym.
Yeah, man, it does get crazy, man. Gym etiquette was a great episode.
That was a great episode.
One of my favorite
What you
episodes
got?
was genuinely the first episode we did where we introduced
I was
ourselves.
thinking about that.
Who
Yeah.
was Cliff and who was Ron, because we got to learn so much about each other. You know, we talked on the phone prior. We talked for a bunch of hours, realized
Yeah.
how close and connected we were. You said, "Hey, let's just do this thing." And I said, "You know what? Yeah, I've been wanting to do something specifically in the health and wellness field to share my knowledge and to partner with someone like you who has such a vast knowledge and who's worked with Olympians, who's working in UConn. And I think we could add value." And it was really genuine. It was really authentic from the heart conversation. It was our first ever episode, and you know that's what brought us all the way to 14. So that's one of my favorites for sure.
Absolutely. Another one of my favorite, I thought was uh, a really important episode was episode 4, which was practitioner burnout. I thought that was really awesome. We talked about that. It's just something that we really need to know in the world about us being healthcare professionals and fitness professionals. And you know, when we're working on humans and making them better humans and getting them functional and moving, sometimes we're so passionate and so driven to help others that we just break down ourselves. And you may or may not realize it, but it's just like you can keep going. um I've been in positions where I can tell you when I last time I was out west working with the Olympic athletes, i did a I did like a 13-hour shift straight. And I mean, they were just bodies just hitting the table, man. And then it got to the point where I just like, but I completely zoned out, like, you know. And after you know, after that day, I sat down. I was like, oh my God, I felt like the life just got sucked out of me,
Mm.
you know. But I couldn't imagine doing that every single day, you know, 5, 6, 7 days a week. That would take me out the game, especially working on, you know, machines. They're machines,
Yeah, yeah,
working on
and
machines, you know. So yeah, that was just a really good episode. I, you know, really talking about that and 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 how we can manage practitioner burnout. Just really taking a step back when we need a break from that as well.
I think that's a powerful episode, and I related to that as being a business owner and trainer. You know, I wasn't just someone who hired a bunch of people and sat back and collected the money. I was in there doing the sales, setting up the clients with the right trainers, doing classes, arguing or getting into confrontation with partners, dealing with COVID, trying to figure out how to innovate, sleepless nights, just the stress of all of that, and then still trying to perform. You start to wonder if you're adding value, and then all of a sudden everyone else is getting results, and your results are you're getting overweight, you're not sleeping, you're picking up better and worse habits, you're not even getting out to exercise anymore because all you're doing and all you're focused on is like, how do I bring value to these people, how do I make money, how do I provide for my family? And it just can become so overwhelming that when you burn out, you're just less successful, less productive. Everything's starting to drain from you, and then it shows up because now clients aren't coming back, and you're losing all that momentum that you put into it. So is it really worth burning out versus really pacing yourself and understanding how to manage that, how to continue to keep yourself healthy? I mean, some of the most successful practitioners that I know take the worst care of themselves. They have the biggest injuries and the
Absolutely,
biggest issues.
absolutely.
You know,
I
they
was
don't
listening
last.
to Les Brown, who was one of my most favorite motivational speakers. Man,
He's
um,
a
say again.
he's an OG. He's been
He's a,
doing it for a
he's
long time.
he's OG. And this was last week when I was listening to him, and he just said something powerful. Know when to say no. And when he, and I listened to a lot of my motivational stuff in the shower. Here I am. I went, oh my God. I was
Yeah.
like in mid shower, right? And because I'm kind of going through that a little bit right now, where I have a lot on my plate, and there's a point where I should have just said no to certain things, and so it's now I'm to the point where I really can't dial back. I just gotta kind of just deal with what's going on. So which is okay for now, but when he said that, it was just really powerful. And I feel like, a lot of people do come, and you get this too. People ask you to do things, or that gentleman asked us that was talking to me about going on that 3-day retreat and then 13 weeks of Zoom calls. And I was like, I get where that's coming from, and I know that it's all about, improving yourself and kind of getting your feelings a little bit. But at the same time, it's just like, wow, that I got so many other things going on. The 3 days would be great, but the rest of the 13 weeks, it's got to kind of know when to say no, so we don't
Yeah.
burn out as a human being, not just as much as a practitioner, but as a human being as well.
Yeah, a good friend of mine, David Fagan, shout out to David Fagan, said, understand what's good, better, and best, and always try to go for the best options that you can find, whether it's investment in your money, investment in your time, investment in the magic you create and the things you create in the world. Like, always look for the best situation, because there's good options out there, and there's even better options out there, but the best option is going to be the one that's the most fruitful. So sometimes you got to say no to the good options so that the best options can open up.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know I had a really good a really good opportunity that I had to turn down because I have too much going on, and I had the opportunity to work. I got asked to work and do sports massage out of a high performance, very well income bringing in gym that's 5 minutes down the road from me,
Mm.
and I had to say no. This was last week. I had to say no because I'm locked into some other stuff. And I
Yeah,
was just like, my wife's like, you really? I'm like, well, I can't. I want to. I really want to, but I can't. So, um, but um, but I'm just hoping that opportunity comes back around when my schedule opens up. Because that stuff I'm passionate about that, and it's 5 minutes down the road.
yeah, yeah. I've said yes to some things that I think are going to be more beneficial, and I've said no to some things that are heartbreaking because I saw the future in it. But I had to look back at, okay, so how has it served me, and has it served me in the past, and is there things that aren't adding up for me to go and say yes to this again and be deeper and deeper in the hole with this situation. And I said, you know what? Rather than getting deeper and deeper in the hole with the situation because I believe in the business practice, the business model, I'm going to say no, because there's been 6 to 8 months that I've been waiting on specific things to play out, and they haven't played out the right way.
Right.
So what am I really saying yes to? Am I saying yes because I know I'm going to be able to travel and like the adrenaline rush and the dopamine hit of doing this event? But then I'm going to come home and then I'm going to be stressed out about the hours I put in, the things that I wasn't able to do, the things that I pushed off. Or am I going to say yes to the opportunities that I have this weekend coming up and not worry about trying to add more on my plate? And
Right.
again, that's
Right.
all about burnout. So
What
a
burnout?
great episode, guys. If you understand what we're talking about with burnout, this
Put
is
it in
just
the Disney
a
chat,
conversation.
baby.
Put it in the comments, man. We want to know how you feel. We want to see and interact with you. And we love to hear some ideas and some topics you guys want to talk about, because
Absolutely.
we want to make sure we're adding value to you. And it really serves us and helps us if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, and also if you comment in the comment section about things that are on your heart you'd like to hear, you want to know from. We've got well over 40 years of experience between the two of us. So we'd love to know what you're thinking.
Yeah. And just real quick, just a couple other episodes I really enjoyed was the Jordan Edwards interview that you did. That was
Thank you.
freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Um, he's a beast. I love the fact that he talked about his marathon running. And then I like the fact that he talked about the 75 hard. that he was doing, and also him actually making that time to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around getting up early. I told myself after I retired from the Department of Corrections, I was not going to get up early no more. At least, I'll get up early enough. And then Stephen Ezra West, Dr. Stephen Ezra West, amazing. I love how he talked about performance, um, uh, um, like how the body, as far as the energy and how the body is for his muscle, how the muscle reacts to everything. Talked about ATP. And one last thing I thought was a really good episode we did was the pros and cons of KT tape. I absolutely love using KT tape.
Yeah, you told me. So just to catch up with those episodes, Jordan Edwards' episode is the latest episode that we dropped. His conversation was really about how he just persevered through a lot, how he evolved during the pandemic, how he just got his phone out and started interviewing. He got over 100 interviews with people as famous as Lee Steinberg, through the ecosystems that he's created, and also the 75 hard, and how him and his partner, his friend, figured out how to do it the right way, do it their way. And even if they had to get up a little earlier so they can make time to get their gallon of water in, to get all the different things that they had to get in so that they didn't fail or they didn't have to compromise, they did that. And while doing that, he talked about his marathon running, and how those things were just milestones and milestones to show that he's progressing in the right way. Phenomenal episode, phenomenal person. He has his own podcast and his own YouTube channel, and he's all over social media, and he's doing amazing things and meeting amazing people. Top 1% in podcasts. So really was excited to meet with him and talk with him. Dr. Stephen Ezra West broke down how he's able to work with regeneration, how he's been in stem cell research for years, how his father was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, how he's using bands, and not the rubber bands that we see that are red, green, and blue and yellow, but sports specific bands, and a specific technique that will help your muscles release ATP at a faster and more efficient rate. And he was talking about how he compared sprinters who just are running to this technique, and how it doesn't take a lot of weight, and how high performance athletes are using this as well. And just a wealth of knowledge, very scientific. If you're into the scientific, nerdy, geeky side of health and wellness, you will absolutely eat that episode up. That was so much fun. And yeah, man, it was just some great things that we laid down, man. It was some great.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you definitely want to check out those episodes, so episode 14 is Jordan Edwards. That was a gentleman who's a podcaster, marathon runner, and entrepreneur. And episode 13 is Stephen Ezra West, who is a doctor, scientist, that my homeboy, partner in crime, Cliff, just talked about.
So what are you looking forward to in the future? What are you looking forward to on the road to 50? What type of things do you want to bring to the podcast, bring to the YouTube channel, bring to clients and people who are watching to add value in their lives?
Yeah, so goal is at some point start researching and change up the platform. Move it from a Zoom to something else that's a little bit more podcasty of a platform. I know they're out there. Just got to figure out which one they are.
Yeah, like Restream might be one of them. I'm looking into. Yeah.
That and just bring on some more guests. I think that's important. We don't necessarily have to have a guest every single week, but I think it's always good to bring in other views of people who are out in the field or who are doing it, and just so to see how they can bring value. Definitely want to try to get get some high end people. I know I have 2 people out that I reach out to who are that fought for the UFC, and man, if I get one of those on here, man, that'd be the cat's pajamas.
That'd be so cool. Just to talk to high performance athletes about what they're looking for, how they're managing pain reduction, how they're keeping up with their mobility, what are some techniques that they're using, and seeing if we could actually speak into their lives and add value with our experience, so that people can actually see what it looks like for a coach to talk with someone who has the discipline and the ability to train and work hard for themselves, and still see how we add value, right? Because
Yeah.
a lot of people are like, oh, I could just go to the gym, or I could just get on my Peloton, I could just da 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 da. But then even when you think about it, your Super Bowl winners, your NBA winners, your baseball players, your wrestlers, your UFC fighters, all of these people are working with coaches and trainers. All of these people, your physique models,
Yeah.
all of these people who are doing it at the highest level are working with coaches and trainers. So for someone who is just getting into it, or who may have been going and following Arnold Schwarzenegger for years, and they don't believe in coaching and they think they could just do it themselves, yeah, I bet you're going to get something. If you're consistent, you're going to find some way to get something. You may have injured yourself a couple of times, and no one's knocking that. But when you look at the high performance athletes, when you look at people who have been able to be consistent, and you pull back the onion and you see where they're coming from, you'll see a coach in their corner. And that's a beautiful day.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, man, let's wrap it up, man.
Tell them I was done.
All right, well, I want y'all to stay awesome, keep stepping in greatness, and be legendary.
Be legendary. See you on the next episode.
All right, keep stepping in greatness, y'all.
Nice.